Tim Cook just walked off the Apple stage front. Tim Cook just walked off the Apple stage for the last time as CEO.
So Tim Cook recently walked off the Apple stage for the very last time as CEO. But you know that final announcement he made right before stepping out of the spotlight? Well, it quietly changed how 2 billion of us are going to use our phones every single day forever. We're talking about Claude, a wildly advanced artificial intelligence, getting wired directly into the core operating system of your iPhone. It's like a heavy bass drop for the entire tech world, yet almost nobody is talking about the sheer technical scale of this rollout. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to break down exactly what happened under the hood of iOS 27, why Apple chose this exact setup, and why your mobile experience is about to shift completely. All right, Section 1, the old world broken. Look, to really get the gravity of Apple's massive pivot here, we kind of have to admit why the old setup held us back so badly. For over a decade, the whole voice assistant vibe was built on these rigid logic trees and really basic keyword matching. It was, frankly, a brittle system. If you asked a question even slightly outside its programming, the whole thing just fell apart. We all know the feeling, right? Siri totally missing the context, totally misunderstanding what you meant, or just giving you absolutely zero helpful output. The reality is, we fundamentally learned to stop asking complex questions. We trained ourselves to just set cooking timers or ask for the weather, simply because the tech couldn't actually handle natural language. And here's the kicker. Apple knew this. They were fully aware their flagship assistant was falling rapidly behind the massive generative AI revolution happening everywhere else. The technical debt of that old system was becoming a huge liability, especially in a world where AI models are literally passing bar exams and writing complex code. So what did Apple do next? Well, it wasn't just a standard software patch. Actually, scratch that. It was a complete teardown of their own foundational ecosystem. Which brings us to Section 2, the iOS 27 AI reveal. Okay, let's dive right into this, because this right here is the core technical pivot. Apple literally gutted the old system. They ripped out the outdated architecture and brought in a completely new dual-model ecosystem. First, they replaced the baseline reasoning engine with Google's Gemini for quick embedded tasks. But the truly explosive move? They gave you Claude as a deeply integrated option for high-level reasoning. This is a profound shift. Instead of burning billions trying to build one single model to catch up, Apple essentially embraced a mixture of experts approach for us, the consumers. They're acknowledging that different AIs are good at different things. By putting the two most capable models on the planet natively into iOS 27, they're making sure you always have the absolute best tool for the job. And the engineering required to pull this off, it's absolutely insane. Running a massive language model on a phone without instantly killing the battery or waiting forever for a cloud server is a huge hurdle. But Apple is using the neural engines in their own silicon to process a ton of this locally. That means this massive upgrade in intelligence, understanding nuance, holding a long conversation, happens super fast. But the absolute best part? There is literally zero friction. No App Store search, no extra downloads, no making new accounts or paying subscriptions just to get basic access. Boom, it is instantly embedded right into the hardware you're already holding. Now, why prioritize Claude specifically? Well, just look at the data. 306%. That is the massive growth rate Claude saw in just a single quarter leading up to this. But that's not just hype. It's a fundamental shift in what users actually want. Power users have been flocking to Claude because of its massive context window. We're talking about the ability to digest entire books, huge code bases, or complex financial docs in seconds and actually reason through them without getting confused. Plus, it has way better tone control and refuses tasks way less often than older AIs. Apple saw the momentum, picked the smartest model, and hardwired it straight into the iPhone. Moving on to Section 3, supercomputer in your pocket. Let's look at how you actually turn this on in iOS 27. They made it deliberately simple. Step 1, open your iPhone settings. Step 2, select AI Assistant. Step 3, choose Claude. 3 taps. In less than 5 seconds, you can completely rewire the brain of your phone, giving Claude permission to interact with your entire operating system. And once you do that, the whole definition of a smartphone shifts to a totally different beat. Think about planning a huge European trip. Normally, you're bouncing between a browser, a spreadsheet, a calendar, airline apps, right? It's exhausting. But with this native integration, you just tell it what you want in plain English. The system checks your calendar, pulls live web data for trains and hotels, factors in your budget, and boom, generates a full itinerary right there. Or say you're coding. Snap a photo of an error on your laptop, and the AI instantly spots the Python syntax error and writes the fix. It's not just a chatbot anymore. It's a supercomputer crossing between all your apps because it finally understands what you're actually trying to do. Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, 2 billion device takeover. 2 billion. Let that giant number sit with you for a second. That is Apple's active device user base across the globe. Normally, when we see new tech, it's a slow burn. Early adopters first, then the masses, right? But with iOS 27, this incredibly advanced AI just dropped for 2 billion people simultaneously. This isn't just launching a successful startup, this is like flipping a master switch on the largest installed user base in human history. Think about the crazy contrast here. A platform like ChatGPT had to grind for 5 years. They had to build an app, get people to download it, make accounts, change their daily habits. It was a massive success, but it took a lot of user effort. Claude just skipped the entire line overnight. By partnering directly at the hardware layer, they totally bypassed the friction. They didn't need to convince 2 billion people to download a thing. They just hijacked the ecosystem we all already live in. It is instant, ubiquitous distribution. And that brings us to the core thesis of this explainer, the real mic drop moment. AI stopped being an app and became your operating system. That is a critical distinction, right? An app is a destination, you open it, do a thing, close it. But an operating system, that's the invisible fabric running your whole digital life. When AI becomes the OS, it gains ambient awareness. It reads an email, checks your calendar, and drafts a reply before you even think to ask. We are shifting from you commanding a machine step by step to the machine anticipating exactly what you need and just orchestrating it for you. So I gotta leave you with this final thought. Will you switch to Claude on your iPhone? Now that you see the underlying architecture and the massive, massive scale of what iOS 27 actually is, think about it. The definition of the smartphone just changed forever. If you want to keep unpacking these huge shifts and truly understand the tools redefining our world, make sure you subscribe to AI Unlocked. Think about what ambient intelligence means for your daily rhythm, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.